Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am here to debut an exclusive trailer. Guys, if you didn't already know, there was a Tron series coming to Disney Plus that just got scrapped from John Ridley. They were supposed to lead into maybe a trequel of films and then a series. They killed it all. Well, I have a new pitch. Disney Plus, this is for you. This is one I made a while ago that got lost on the web, and I'm reclaiming it because it's mine, and I loved it. It's one of my favorite pilots I've ever made with the man himself. Without further ado, guys, let me present my Tron Legacy Disney Plus series idea.
Hey, what do you say tomorrow you and I hit the arcade? First game is on me.
Can we play doubles? On the same team?
I always double team.
Good evening. Our lead story. Legendary adult film star Ron Jeremy was reported missing.
Where am I?
Attention program.
Hey, so you're into that group thing, huh? Oh, I already had my prostate checked. Oh, tickles. Eh? Eh?
He's different.
I'm Jewish, baby. This is how we all look. Ladies, where you going? The party's just getting started. Perhaps you've heard of me, Ron Jeremy.
Ron who?
Where is this place?
This is a computer.
A lot of my work is on computer.
Yes, but now you're inside of one.
Being inside is what I do best.
Here he comes.
Who are you? Whoa. This goes against even my principles.
I'm going to violate your principles.
Finally, something I haven't tried before.
Guys, what do you think? I mean, come on, it writes itself. We could do a whole series, a whole franchise of movies in the Tron Jeremy universe. I'm all for it. What do you guys think? Tell me now. Now, look, I am gonna tell you more about how this happened because you're like, Andy, what the hell is that? For many of you that I don't know, I'm gonna brag a little bit. Here's my. I used to make spoofs back in the day. I got an MTV Movie Award for one I did called United 300 that I'm immensely proud of. I made with friends, and I'm very proud that it's back there in my wall. But I thought, you know what? Let's break out some of these old spoofs that have gotten lost and reclaim them and release them to you. I have some other fun, nerdy spoofs, and I kind of want to get back into it, make more original content like I used to do. But I thought, let me tell you behind the story about Tron Jeremy. How did it happen? Well, I did this years ago, and I have some photos I can pull up, sort of making. I couldn't have done it without a friend of mine named Ian who helped me write it. This was him on set as we were waiting for Ron to get to set. The actress was Jessica Pitchett. She was fantastic. She showed up. She was a friend of a friend who came. We got the outfit fitted for her, and Ian and I wrote the script. I'll get to the effects in a second. But we were waiting for Ron. No offense to Ron, but he was very late. He was very late today. We were afraid he wasn't going to come. We had a whole studio rented, just a green screen studio that we rented just for this. And I wasn't like a big effects director. I hadn't done a lot of that. I had a fellow named John Brown that we used to work with that was just amazing. That helped tremendously with doing all the digital effects. So got notes from him of sort of what do we do? How do we make sure that we shoot what we need? And this was a pretty much shot for shot parody of the Tron Legacy trailer from back in the day. So we use those as resources to sort of frame our shots and make sure if and when Ron showed up, that we could put them in there. But then eventually he did show up. He showed up and he was a pro. And I think he was sort of just like, what am I doing here at first? And then quickly he sort of realized this is kind of fun. He realized quickly like what we were doing was kind of silly. Once we put him in the suit and he met Jessica, of course, he was even more interested. He was a pro. He wanted to act. He did his best acting. It was kind of fun directing him. People see him as the adult film star Ron Jeremy, but he brought some comedy, and I liked sort of his takes on the lines. So we got to shoot there in the studio, all of it green screen, framing everything up to make sure that everything was lined up. And then John Brown in post added all the magic. I mean, look at that. I love this sort of before and after to really show you that's what we shot. And then John Brown's magic made it. Not only did he add all the, he had to digitally, cut up the trailer footage and then just sort of create stills to make the universe. But then he had to add the light, have the light suits. That's why we made them blue. per their advice, we had, I think it was Adam Sapien, costume designer at the time, helped me make these sort of leather biker suits that he then stitched in all this blue stuff. So that way the blue could be keyed out easier, and couldn't be green. You know, see how it's green and then blue? If we had green on green, it would have been a mess. So the blue was a separate color that we could key out. So that way when John was doing his post, he could make that be sort of a glowing white. But that was my favorite sort of shot to sort of show how we pulled this off, and just how cool effects are when you really figure out. And then not only that, but like, you know, you could see the skin tone to match the movie. We shot this in a regular studio, normal lighting, just a lit green screen. Got to be careful of the shadow, but that's all you needed to do. We had to make sure our positioning was correct, and then everything else was done in post. It's getting obviously so much crazier now. We did this about, I don't know, almost 10 years ago. And while I was there, I couldn't resist, and he was nice enough to create a still of me, because I wore the suit at one point, and so they CG'd me as if I was one of the characters in set too, posing there with Jessica. But look, this was an immensely fun shoot that I remember very fondly. It was just fun. I was trying to play up, sort of do a couple shots. I can sort of walk you through why and sort of how it went down, because I want to make sure you guys, here it is, it's back. But as I was sort of, this shot
you and I hit the arcade.
was just a fun
First game is on me.
redoing Jeff Bridges' line. Can we play doubles? And
The
then
same team?
I always double team. This was obviously, he had to write out Jeff Bridges, and then you know, we that's Ian's voice. Sort of synced to the original line, which was
Legendary adult
good
film
evening.
star Ron Jeremy was
But then we
missing.
just had him ADR and then just trick it, and then we had, this was also the Jeff Bridges shot that we then had Ron sit in, and then we had to sort of digitally. What was amazing, because what John Brown did was he would get a lot of stills, I would notice, H4K, whatever the highest res he could get, to erase it, and then plop in sort of the video of the shots, because we would shoot them as best we could. And all of these shots were just fun. This was a hard one because we had to get up high. We got a ladder, but then he did some perspective shifting. And this one just turned out amazing. Beyond just, not only just
My prostate checked.
the lines, Ian, good job, Ian, on the script. He's different.
He's different.
I'm Jewish, baby. This is how we all look. Ladies!
I
Where you
look,
going?
sometimes you just know it's going to work. That was just so well done. And I love that shot that he removed and rotoed out to have them there. And then the whole point was just, if we're going to do the adult version, let's make sure her cleavage is really far out. John Brown added that sort of the look. And then the driving shot was just them in two folding chairs. A lot of my work is on computer. I always remember Ian and I would always just remark that was that ended up being our favorite line in the whole thing, just on Ron's delivery of a lot of my work is on computer. I say it with love. I'm not making fun. It felt real.
Where is this place?
This is a computer.
A lot of my work is on computer.
Yes, but now you're inside of one.
Get it?
Being inside is what I do best.
Oh, ba-dum-bum. It was a fine line of how dirty could we get. Like, this felt like once we had the rings there and set, I was like, we got to have them poking through the rings, the car going through the tunnel, and then that's just a shot from the original. There's not much else added. But I love the rack focus that John did. It's so great, but that's just real. Here he comes, get it. Blah, 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 blah. That there was a version of this that was much grosser that we got toned. We had to tone down for the sake of, back then you didn't want YouTube to sort of censor you either. But this so with the bravo on that title, it just looks great. But this was this was always when I was writing with Ian, I had one idea of, like, we got to figure out how to find an old shot of Ron Jeremy so old Ron could try to sleep with young Ron. And I was like, that's what Tron Legacy. That I remember the trailers when Jeff Bridges runs into his CGI'd young self, and you're like, what? That was it. That was fascinating to me. And I was like, well, what if Ron could? That's how you one up this movie. That's the big twist of, Ron's gonna do it with himself. And the line was sort of, we were trying to constantly figure out how to have Ron's best line, but we then had to find something we had to watch so much old Ron Jeremy footage to find this line before we could really write the script, because it was all about finding the right head placement that didn't move too much, that could say a line that then we could write a response line to. It was more of a challenge than you can imagine. But then we eventually, I forget what movie we pulled this from, but
Whoa. This goes against even my principles.
I'm going to violate your principles.
I'm going to violate your principles was the line we found. And so we just stilled them, and then, whoa, this would go. So there was it was the weirdest line too. So we're like, all right, how do we make this work? I'm going to violate your principles is what, how do we do it? So then we figured, I don't know if it was Ian maybe or whatever, but it was that we had, all right, well, let's cue him. Whoa, this goes against my principles. I'm going to violate your principles. And then
Finally, something I haven't tried before.
the look. The look time to Young, like they're both looking to him, like, yeah, we're both in on this. And then I had to add the Disney Plus logo to ensure that this was a full trailer. But anyway, Tron Jeremy, I'm very proud of that one. It was so silly, so much hard work. Kudos to everybody who helped me do that one. So many people involved in that one. Thank you. It's somewhere. Sometimes it pops up online. Someone else loaded it, and it's not really theirs. So I'm reclaiming it. This was mine. Tron Jeremy, forever now can live on here on Popcorn Planet. What did you guys think? Was that funny? Should I do more of these? Should I try and does anybody do effects like that? If I have another idea, can we do it together? Hit me up. Let's try and do some more fun stuff, because I miss doing these sort of spoofs. I used to do them a lot. I loved it. That's sort of how I got started in this whole internet space before Screen Junkies, all of it. A lot of spoofs you can go. Some of them still on this channel, and others. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. That's the backstory and the exclusive debut of Tron Jeremy, which I am officially pitching. If Disney Plus doesn't want it, then RedTube Plus. Who wants it? Somebody come at me. I need to pay the bills. Let's make this happen. Ron, reach back out. It's time for the reboot. Let's do a whole series. I don't care anymore. Let's make it happen. Tell me what you thought down below, your pitches, etc. Thank you so much for watching. You can hit me up at Andy Signore on social media as well. And subscribe. Please subscribe to Popcorn Planet for more. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.